Mad. They're really, really mad. There's much better cars to do it with.
It's a brave decision. As well as being unfashionable, 1302s only had a limited run and some parts are impossible to get hold of.
The thought has been going through my mind of, you know, are we doing the right thing?
What's it really, really like?
Basically.
Sometimes we think, well, I wouldn't give it yard space, but they really, really want it doing. You get that a lot with VW people because they are very passionate about what they do, what they want, and what their end product's got to be. In my experience of 03s and 02s, whenever we take them apart, they're shagged.
Steve's attacking the major jobs, but the lads haven't given the rest of the bodywork a lot of scrutiny. It's covered in paint and filler, which could be concealing a lot of damage.
The metalwork was never very good in the 70s, so they just rotted like anything. And especially the model that we've got has got sort of water traps everywhere in the front suspension especially. Going through your mind is, what are we going to uncover?
I'll put money on it, right? Whatever he thinks it is now, it'll be twice as bad. Can't you convince him to change to a different car?
I've tried. He gets it in his mind he wants to do something, and that's it. I can see tears happening, probably from my side, and maybe his as well.
Next on Steve's list is the front valance. It's been bashed in and needs replacing, but these panels are readily available and can be picked up for around 20 quid. Rich is back from the local stockist.
Right, I've got the rear valance. The front one had a huge dent in it, so I'm picking that up tomorrow.
Rich starts by cleaning the front end in preparation for the valance, but all that dust points to the fact that a lot more filler's been used than first thought.
It looks like at some point in its life it's had a bit of a shunt. What do you reckon?
Cover it back up with filler.
This panel isn't available off the shelf, so Steve will have to use his ingenuity.
I'll leave this one up to you, mate.
It's not a big job in itself, but a few more like it and Steve and Rich could find themselves weeks behind schedule. More worrying will be the fact that the car looks to have been involved in a front-end smash, which could have further repercussions.
It's not perfect, but it fits reasonably well. It's just a case of we'll tack it in now, and then we'll be able to play around with it when it's on there.
Doing their own welding will save the boys thousands. A full weld-up can take a pro over 50 hours at around 40 quid an hour.
If it's crap to start with, it's always going to be crap, no matter how much money you're spending to turn it around.
A show-winning Beetle will often look better than when it left the factory in Wolfsburg, Germany 40-odd years ago. Perfection comes at a price, but to some bug owners, money is no object.
You can spend sort of £7,000 on a show-winning paint job.
Small engines, cheap insurance and that enduring cool factor has made the Bug the perfect first car.
The only thing is, when you're learning to drive, you often have the most accidents, and nearly every Beetle on the road at some point has suffered a shunt.
Then there's the problem with rust. Some areas on the car, like the heater channel, can send repair costs spiralling.
They were a poor design by Volkswagen. Basically, you have warm air blowing through a cold metal channel, which causes condensation. That then causes the heater channels to rot out.
The heater channel on this 1967 model is solid, but it's a 1970s replacement, and even though it will be covered with carpet, it could spoil the integrity of the car. It's this level of detail, along with flawless workmanship, that makes a show winner. Despite his years of experience, John has handed the welding over to his younger workmate Martin.
People go to football academies, learn how to play football, they play football for years. Then Wayne Rooney comes along, a young kid, brilliant footballer. You can't get taught talent, it's just something you've either got or you haven't.
A good weld isn't just a visual thing.
For me, it comes down to hearing, because you can hear what's about to happen. It's like a different pitch. I mean, it's for me. I'm probably just weird.
This job will now need only a light skim before paint, which unfortunately isn't the case with most bugs. Slapping on the filler can hide years of botched welding, which can fool even the most experienced restorer.
I bought a 1969 Beetle that I thought was totally solid, and the whole floor had been made out of paint cans and a road sign.
Back in the garage, Steve's been firefighting. The shell is in a lot worse condition than he'd anticipated, and he's made the big decision to replace a section of the other rear quarter, partly because he's found a bargain.
You can buy them new for about 120. This one came up 20 quid. So you just like grab it while you can.
This will save time in the long run, as it won't need so much panel beating, but Rich, his partner on the project, feels Steve could be getting a bit carried away.
Steve's getting a bit over-ambitious with replacing panels that have only got a little bit of rust in. It's turning into more of a job than it was before.
The lads have sourced the bonnet and all the wings for around 70 quid, and it's time for a quick assembly to see if everything fits. The later the bug, the thinner the metal, and these parts can become out of shape.
You are aware that there's like a gap here like the Grand Canyon?
The problem doesn't lie with the wing, but some dodgy repairs by one of its previous owners.
It's crap.
But the wing should be back about there.
A quick glance at Steve's other Beetle highlights the problem.
Bit of a difference.
That is where the bolt should be going through the wing into the bodywork, and that's actually where the bolt hole is, because all of this has been put in really badly in the wrong place.
Right.
And there's more bad news underneath.
Something's not right down there.
The front end smash looks to have caused even more damage.
It's a bit battered around here. Have a look.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it is a bit, isn't it?
Jesus.
It's bent it right the way down there.
It's the chassis at the front has basically been twisted in that accident. Could we put a brick underneath and jump up and down on it?
Maybe with your weight, yeah.
Thanks. Remember, your head's on the floor and my foot's right by it.
This is a big problem. The boys haven't got the time or money to search for another chassis. They could do with a new shell, but Steve's put in a lot of time and effort repairing the original.
This is ridiculous. The rear of both front quarters are knackered, so we've got to repair those. We're doing the other rear quarter, and now we've found a twisted front chassis. This was a good buy, mate.
Next time, the dream starts to fall apart in Rich's absence. They get the pros in to build an engine and apply some custom touches, but will they meet their deadlines?
No, we'd struggle to do that in a fully equipped workshop.
Help!